4 minutes more. I'm already here. I'm dialing also at the same time, so I have to take you out. Yeah. Francis. Okay, we got 2 minutes more. Okay, we got 1 minute more. Okay, so it's 5 a.m. Let's all rise. Let's begin our Hoon Dok Hae. We're offering one standing bow to our beloved true parents. Hanim Gua, Chapung Mwe, Wegide Pe, Kimbe, Baro. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, today, August 19, 2014, here at Washington Family Church, National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., we pray that today will be a glorious and victorious day for our true parents, true children, and all the members from Washington, D.C. to the whole of America and to all over the world. We pray for our true mother who is here on earth, and we pray for the unity between the God of day and the God of night, and we pray for our true Father mother who is so busy in the spiritual world as before, and we pray for their unity, and we pray also as well for the true children. We pray that they unite with our true mother, and we pray as well for the true grandchildren. We pray that they will be protected from all harm. We pray for their success in whatever endeavors or activities that they'll do. And we pray for all the good saints and all the good angels and even the heavenly generals and absolute good spirits. We pray that you join us today in Hoon Dok Hae as we pray also for brothers and sisters who are attending the true family and those who are listening today and all our leaders who are attending also the World Mission Headquarters in Chungcheong, Korea. We pray for our elder sister Sanjinim and her husband Insuknim. We pray for their good health always, as we have known from the second generation who went there, that she teaches yoga to the second generation, and we pray that they'll be healthy always, and we pray as well for the leaders in the world headquarters in Seoul, Korea, that they will receive our reports through the national headquarters, our tithes, our Sunday attendance, and many other things. And often we pray that they will really find out all our reports from every Tuesday after Sunday. We pray that today we can report also about the results last Sunday, and we pray for the UPF chairman, Chung Shik-yang, and all the international vice presidents like Reverend Thomas Wong and his staff, and all the families, and all the continental leaders all over the world, especially here in North America and the Caribbean. We pray for Archbishop Kim and his family. We pray for his success always, as we pray also for all the national presidents of our Family Federation for World Peace and Unification headquarters all over the world, especially again here in the United States of America. We pray for Reverend Dr. Michael Balton, his family, the staff there at 4 West 430th Street. We pray that they will always acknowledge this church and all its activities and even its improvement. And we pray for their success always in the witnessing and looking for these members who were attending the church since the 70s and 80s. We pray also for all the districts and regions all over the world, that it will always be successful, especially here in District 1. We pray for our director, Reverend Ernest Patton, and his wife, Kate Patton, and their children. We pray that they will always reach their goals and will have always the victory given to you, as we have witnessed from the second gender daughter of our director, that she always feels that now he is the child of our true parents, and we pray for her success always, and we pray for all the Richmond, we pray for Father Adrian Biden and his wife Elsa. And in Towson, Maryland, we pray for Reverend James Stewart and Kelly and the two children and their members in Towson, Maryland. And we pray as well for Isla June in Virginia. We pray that they will always give accurate reports on their diabetes and also their number of attendance every week. We pray for them always for their success, they can surpass their goals, and we pray as well for the Maryland area that they will always contribute more and do more for the Providence also, and we pray for their pastor, Reverend William Stevens and his wife, and the co-pastors like Reverend Jim Boothby and Ms. Jones, and here in Washington, D.C. we pray for the ACLC chairman, Archbishop Augustus Collins, with his wife and two children. We pray for his success, and we pray for our pastor, Reverend Xavier Oliver, his wife, only son and daughter, Brianna. We pray for victory always, unity, prosperity, and good health to all the Washington Family Church. We pray for our members and all those blessing candidates and those who are being invited to this church. We pray that they will always come and really connect again and will revive this church. And we pray all of this in all our names and in my name. Athanasius Francis, Catalan, bless Sendo family. Aju, Aju, Aju. Aju. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're still reading the book World Scriptures and the teachings of our Father, Reverend San Myung Moon, number 2. And we're now on page 401, also number 2, the subtopic, Human Beings Who Achieve Mastery Rise Above the Gods. It is people who make the gods important. If a spirit, open parenthesis, idol, close parenthesis, becomes too troublesome, it will be shown the tree from which it was curbed. We shall continue to offer sacrifices so that the blame will lie with the deities. And this is from the African proverbs, African traditional religions. Fools misjudge me when I take a human form, because they do not know my supreme state as Lord of beings. Unconscious, they fall prey to a beguiling nature, such as belongs to ogres and demons. For their hopes, ascribing to God human motives, are vain, and so are their rituals and their search for wisdom. This is from Bhagavad Gita 9, verses 11 to 12 from Hinduism. Whoever knows the self as I am Brahman becomes all this in open parenthesis universe, close parenthesis. Even the gods cannot prevent his becoming this, for he has become their self. Now if a man worships another deity thinking he is one and I am another, he does not know. He is like an animal to the gods. As many animals serve a man, so does each man serve the gods. open parenthesis, with offerings, close parenthesis. Even if one animal is taken away, it causes anguish to the owner. How much more so when many are taken away? Therefore, it is not pleasing to the gods that men should know the truth. This is from Brihadaryanka Upanishad 1.4.10, again from Hinduism. From the Devas are jealous of a yogi, striving as he does to surpass them by attaining Brahman. They therefore try to lead him astray in various ways if they find him off guard. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.20, again from Hinduism. What is Shinto? Not in the shrines the worldly minded frequent for gifts in vain, but in good deeds, pure of heart, lies real religion. This is from Genchi Kato, from Shinto. Lord, you brothers who bathe in the holy waters, look, you monks who bathe in the stream, give up your unholy thoughts. Give up lustful thoughts for another man's wife. Give up coveting after another man's wealth. If you bathe in the waters without giving up this, it is as if bathing in a stream that has run dry. And this is from Basavana Vakana 642, Hinduism. Truth is victorious, never untruth. Truth is the way. Truth is the goal of life, reached by the sages who are free from self-will. This is from Hoon Dok Hae, Upanishad 3.1.6, Hinduism. And now we have the teachings of our Father, Reverend Sun Myung Moon. Anyone who wants to read? We have Reverend Ezra.
Teachings of Sun Myung Moon. We should clearly distinguish monotheism from polytheism. Only God is the true deity. The other divine beings that founded the polytheistic religions are angels. Among those religions, some developed through good angels' efforts to elevate human spirituality and heart. They are the higher religions. You should know that God has been cultivating people's hearts through these good religions. This is a speech of November 17th, 1992. We turn to page 402 and we read, human history can be considered to span at least 850,000 years. Even during the most primitive times, The religious movement that sprang up received persecution. Who initiated such work? It is God. He developed religion to separate human beings from the servant. God separated us from Satan step by step, starting from the very bottom, the level of a servant of servants. Humans are created to be masters, but at the servant of servants level, the servant dominates the master. In order to take our rightful position in the kingdom of heaven as the masters of that servant, humanity must inevitably receive persecution from the entire servant world and triumph over it. This is a speech of January 23rd, 1983. And we read, among shamans, especially the men, some had formerly led a promiscuous love life. Then, as shamans, they leave their former life and strive on the path of morality. This led to the development of a, in bracket, higher realm of religion. From that starting point, they could recognize that people should live a straight way of life and form faithful families. At least they recognized that it was not good to live in a loosened lifestyle and sought after a proper way of life. Such efforts at lying at the right path developed into the world's higher religions. This is a speech of August 28, 1998. We go to a new topic entitled Buddhism.
What was the one before that? The topic before we give it?
Yes, the topic before this, we were reading on shamanism, polytheism, and animism.
And that's why it was
Started page 397 to page 401. It ended with 402. It had two subtopics. One is about worship of nature deities, and the second one is human beings who achieve mastery rise above the gods. We go to the topic Buddhism, page 402. Father Moon has the highest respect for Buddhism, a religion that has deeply influenced the culture of his native Korea. He regards the Buddhist teaching and practice of self-denial as the summit of the world religious teachings for recovering our true original self from the mire of our fallen condition. To reach that state of emptiness, what Father Moon calls the 0 point, it is true enlightenment. In Father Moon's view of Buddhism is lacking two essential points: knowledge of a personal God and full comprehension of the ideal of true love. Nevertheless, it was God who taught the Buddha and set up Buddhism to give light to the Orient. People of all faiths can learn much from Buddhism, particularly about the way of self-denial to overcome false ego and uncover the true self. We read now subtopic 1, the values of Buddhism. And we read, the best of paths is the Eightfold Path. The best of truths are the Four Noble Truths. Non-attachment is the best of mental states. The best of human beings is the seeing one. This is the only way. There is no other way that leads to the purity of insight. You should follow this path, for this is what bewilders matter. Embarking upon that path, you will make an end of pain. I have declared this path after having learned the way for the removal of thorns. This is from Dhammapada 273 to 75. And we read, not by matted hair, nor by family, nor by birth does one become a Brahmin, but in whom there exists both truth and righteousness, pure is he. A Brahmin is he. I do not call him Brahmin merely because he is born of a Brahmin womb or sprung from a Brahmin mother. Being with impediments, he should address others as Sir. But he who is free from impediments, free from clinging, him I call a Brahmin. He who realizes here in this world the destruction of his sorrow, who has laid the burden aside and is emancipated, him I call a Brahmin. He who has laid aside the cudgel is in his dealings with beings, whether feeble or strong, who neither harms nor kills, him I call a Brahmin. He who is friendly among the hostile, who is peaceful among the violent, who is unattached among the attached, him I call Brahmin. In whom lust, hatred, pride, and destruction are called off like a mustard seed from the point of a needle, him I call a Brahmin. This is from Dhammapada 393, 396, 402, 405 to 07. And we read, even ornaments, royal chariots wear out, so too the old reaches, body reaches old age. But Dhamma of the good grows not old. Thus do the good reveal it among the good. Dhammapada 151. We read, what, brethren, is casual happening, conditioned by rebirth, is decay and death. Whether, brethren, there be an arising of Tathagatas, or whether there be no such arising, this nature is things just stands, this casual status, this casual causal orderliness, the relatedness of this to that. This is from Samyutta Nikaya 2.25. And we read, I pray homage to the perfection of wisdom. She is worthy of homage. She is unstained. The entire world cannot stain her. She is a source of light, and from everyone is the steeple. Is the triple world. She removes darkness, and she leads away from the blinding darkness caused by the defilement and by wrong views. In her we can find shelter. Most excellent are her works. She makes us seek the safety of the wings of enlightenment. She brings light to the blind. She brings light so that all fear and distress may be forsaken. She is the mother of the Bodhisattvas. On account of the emptiness of her own marks, as the donor of the jewel of all the Buddha Dhammas, she brings about the 10 powers in bracket of a Buddha. She cannot be crushed. She protects the unprotected with the help of the 4 grounds of self-confidence. She is the antidote to birth and death. She has a clear knowledge of the own being of all Dhammas, for she does not stray away from it. The perfection of wisdom of the Buddhas, the Lord sets in motion the wheel of the law. This is from Perfection of Wisdom in 8,000 lines, 7.1. And now on that topic of Buddhism, we read, it's already 5:30. We have the teachings of our true father, the Reverend Sang Myang Moon. I think we can stop here and continue to read from there tomorrow. Is there anyone who would like to share from what we read today? We were finishing on the second topic from what we were reading of religions, and we were reading about shamanism, polytheism, and animism. And we read on subtopic number 2, human beings who achieve mastery rise above the gods. And we read about Buddhism. Is there anyone who would like to share? From what we read today, I can more relate and feel inspired from true Father's teaching that some of these religions were religions that were started by the angels, and these religions are the ones who that have the spirit of persecuting the human beings' religions. That is a point I've just learned, that the cause of persecution for human beings whenever a righteous man arises and a prophet, why people cannot just follow and unite with this chosen central figure, even sometimes by their own family members. They are opposed and persecuted, and they have to run away and they have to stay away. Buddha, we know he was in a palace and left that kingship and went to live as an ordinary man. Moses was in Pharaoh, but he had to leave and live in the desert. And they knew him and they know him just because he killed an Egyptian. And he's a Jew. That became a very big issue and he had to run away for his life. So, but he had done many good things, and I wonder sometimes, even when I see the stories of like Joseph, who is not an Egyptian, but he is the one who saved the Egyptians through the 7 years of very serious famine. But his whole tribe, when they came, they ended up becoming slaves to those Egyptians, and so on and so forth. There is no religion or righteous that God has inspired through human beings that has gone a free highway of no persecution. This is the day. Today I've read these lines here from True Father, saying it is on this page 401 at the bottom. Yeah, we read here, it says, we should clearly distinguish monotheism and polytheism. Only God is the true deity. The other divine beings that founded the polytheistic religions are angels. Among those religions, some developed through the good angels' efforts to elevate human spirituality and heart. They are the higher religions. You should know that God has been cultivating people's hearts through these good religions. And that is reading of September 17. And the next one says, human history can be considered to span at least 850,000 years. Even during the most primitive times, the religious movements that sprang up received persecution. Who initiated such works? Is it God? He developed religions to separate human beings from the servant. God separated us from Satan step by step, starting from the very bottom, the level of a servant of servant. Humans are created to be masters, but at the servant of servant level, the servant dominates the master in order to take our rightful position in the kingdom of heaven as the master of that servant, humanity must inevitably receive persecution from the entire servant world and triumph over it. So, this is a speech of January 23rd, 1983. So that gives us another determination to know that actually the persecution that comes through someone, you see, that may not totally be the man. It is the angelic forces and the principalities that engage those people to persecute the humanity path of becoming masters. So our path is not going to be easy. So like Jacob, who God called Israel, which means the one who strived with God, I think that is our real path of overcoming the angelic world. We know Jacob fought with the angel and broke he had his thigh bone broken, but by some principle he held on this angel and asked for the blessing of the angel, and that's how he earned his title Israel, the one who has strived with God. So if we strive with God, we will thrive with God and become masters. That's my sharing this morning. Thank you. Reverend Francis.
Thank you, Reverend Ezra. Anybody else wants to share about a reading today? So as Father has mentioned also that those who live in a higher moral plane, as we read yesterday, even though they believe in this polytheism and shamanism and animism, but they live good lives, they become, they rise above the gods. And we have known also from Reverend Ezra that this is because, they are, the polytheistic religions are angels. So in Bangkok, there is an angel there with a very, very long name, and that's his name.
So the Mormons.
Yeah, also Moroni, yeah, of course, is an angel who guided the Mormons right now, who owned this building before, but now, since 33 years ago or more, we acquired it from them. And it was very significant that when they have a prophecy that if Moroni, the angel, will be taken down from this church, the Messiah will come. And they didn't know that the Messiah is the one who bought the church. So it is, it's amazing. So if you don't know the Messiah, you Google it. Right now it points to, the true parents. Yes. And we have learned also from yesterday that, shamans are possessed by servant level spirits, but if they rise above it, their followers, they become more than these angels, because in fact we don't need to look up at angels. They should be our servants. They should do our bidding. When we pray for an air to be clean and the atmosphere will be conducive for any activity, we ask the angels to clear the way, but not, like we ask their permission or what, but they should do our bidding. And of course in other religions they call the angels as jinns, like genie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have three wishes, but in reality, you can wish what you can ever from them, because they are made by God to, as messengers, as, the ones that help God even made this creation, made this world and the universe. So, and Buddhism also, they have at least, Father is very observant. They have at least all the way to, of self-denial, but they don't have God concept. As Father mentions, the two essential points: the knowledge of a personal God. They don't have, and full comprehension of the ideal of true love. So the way they deal with all their peers, their ancestors, their family, is like a relationship of, like it's horizontal, like Confucius also. And they live as, when they're enlightened, they have a good relationship with their fellow men, but they don't have a God concept. But of course, they overcome the ego, which is always, self, meaning they go out from their families, even they have a rich background, they become humble. They have no, supposedly, they don't have any riches, they don't have, also, they abstain from sex, chastity, they have vows, But in reality, the monks there in Thailand, they're rich, and they get a lot of support. And they even have some people who live here in America, they live very affluent lives, or they're being published in the newspapers. Oh, this monk is like this and like that. But supposedly they should do self-denial. But still, we know about also people or monks that they're supposed to be wearing a golden robe. They changed their golden robe to a like green, dark green. That means they already took one of their vows, chastity. That means they have sexual power, and they give amulets. So even Father mentions here that even these shamans, or even men, they were, before they become, they have former lives they led a promiscuous love life. So they were fallen, like fallen angels.
Yeah.
And they strive to become, a good person, and then they,
righteous and pure.
yes, and then they have a higher realm of religion, as they develop. So they forgot already all that former life and strive to the path of morality. So there are many examples of all these men. You can read them. There are many books there when you go to Thailand about why these people, they become monks. And is there anybody else who wants to share from our reading today? And as we have read also from polytheism, like they interconnect, like the Hindus and the Muslims are one, and the people who believe in Confucianism are like Buddhists too. And of course, we know that they're all people of the book, from Judaism and Christianity and the Muslims. They came out 500 years after Christ. So Now it's very timely because we also learn about Buddhism from Gautama Buddha. Yes. So is there anybody else who wants to share? We'll be reading tomorrow the teachings of our Father. It will be very clear. So just continue listening to us. Let's all rise and have unison prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parents, we're so thankful for letting us know about the shamans and how they can even know the future because they are in connection with the spiritual world. We pray that we can always be aware about the higher spirits, that absolute good spirits, and we pray that we can also raise our human ancestors to learn about the principles so that they will be with us, who can help us in many things that we do in our mission, in convincing people to really have a life that is for living for the sake of others. We pray, our Heavenly Parents, that those ancestors we have liberated would really come today with us and go to our place of work and go with us this weekend in whatever efforts we do in witnessing and really reviving other spirits and the spirits of all these people around us here in this church and our places of work and our places even of worship, this church. We pray that we can really elevate them to a higher realm by listening to the divine principle and listening to Father's words and listening to the world scriptures that we are reading here today. We pray that we can really also be your listeners, that we can guide them and we can take care of them until they become blessed and they will also become a blessed family where they can also have blessed children and multiply as our true parents has guided every person in this world, that they should be fruitful, meaning they will be in one body and one mind centered on God and multiply and have dominion over all things, including the third blessing is money and all the things that we are doing here. We pray for each other's success. We pray for the success of our second generation and all our witnessing to those. And we pray all of this in all our names and in my name, Athanasius Francis, Catalan, blessed single family, Jew, Uri esonen to numeros sonen tongil ima son bachos tongil io time.
and our Heavenly
Good
Parents.
morning to the
Yes.
true children, true grandchildren, and all our blessed children. Good morning.
Yes, good
All
morning.
brothers and sisters.
Yes, and our Heavenly Parents.
Have a great and wonderful Tuesday. It's reporting time today. Have a great, yes, wonderful day. Yes, you're welcome, Reverend Oliver.
Yes.
Have a great day too. You're welcome, Diane.